Wow. This will be part 2, an extension of the other video. I anticipated a story from the shooting yesterday at Collier, and I've got an update on that. So this will be part 2 of that story. As soon as I get it here it is. Okay, let me get I'll get the whole story here. Remember I said no judgments? There's probably more to the story. Well, there was. Story starts off: son shot dead in village's home, had previously held mother hostage at gunpoint. A man shot dead Wednesday by his father in the village of Collier had previously held his mother hostage at gunpoint. Robert Terrell Jr., 37, was shot and killed by his father in the Mariana Villas. The father told the Sumter County Sheriff's Office he had taken the action in self-defense. The father, Robert Terrell, has not been charged. In 2010, when the Terrells had been living in the Villa Rica, Georgia, Robert Terrell Jr. had been charged with aggravated assault and false imprisonment after he held his mother hostage for failing to iron his clothes. Once again, I feel so sorry for these people that any of this happened, but here we are with a mature son living with his parents, and I don't want to get into it. There's his picture right there with his mother. Good looking boy, right? But mom and dad, and you other moms and dads that are continually enabling your kids, these kids have a whole different mindset of what they expect from you and everybody around them. Do yourself a favor, teach them. You know the old saying, you can give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day. Teach a man a fish, he'll eat for the rest of his life. That's what this means. News accounts at the time said a younger Terrell who was living with his parents wanted his mother to do some ironing because it was woman's work. I'll let that go. According to the arrest report, Billy Joe Terrell told office officials she couldn't get her iron to work, and she was trying to read the instructions when her son became irate, pulled out a gun, and took his mother's keys and cell phone and refused to let her leave for at least 6 hours. She eventually escaped using a spare key and went to the police station. And that's really the end of the story. No charges. It's a sad ending to this. But I just hope that some people can take a lesson from this, and the lessons from the other drunk kids getting arrested, shoplifting kids getting arrested, drug addicted kids getting arrested, and they're living in your home and you're giving them money and they're going out and buying drugs, and I mean you're the problem. I'm not saying there was drugs involved here. I don't know. It's just a sad. I just hate to think that if I was this boy's parents, Dad must really feel awful. I mean, really, he was probably protecting Mom, and Dad must really, really feel. I wouldn't even imagine. So, from the villages, a sad note. But on the bright side, it's another wonderful day. I don't know if you guys can see it. This is going to be a short video, so maybe I can do just a little bit of a walk around, just a little. The plants in my lanai are doing okay. Our plant that our neighbor gave us a couple years ago was this size. This is a plant trying to shoot off of it. Can you see it? And now it's this size. There's my wife's Christmas things. She wants me to plant them outside. I did one other year, and I'm really hesitant about putting them outside because you got to remember we're in Florida. I planted one for her, 3 or 4 years ago when we first moved in here. I figured it'd, you know, grow for a little while and it'd probably die. It never did. And what do you call them? Poinsettias? And the poinsettia bush we had, I am 6 foot 1 inches tall. And that bush, before I took it out, was probably this tall. Poinsettia bush. It was huge. And the old thing where you got to put a paper bag on them or stick them in a dark place and all this and that to get them to turn red. Apparently that ain't true. I didn't do anything of this bush. It just sat over there by the air conditioner. And when the air conditioner come on, the water that would drip out of the, whatever you want to call it, the little pipe where the water drips out when it takes the humidity out of the air, that water is what was watering the plant all the time. And this thing every November would start to turn red on top. And then by Christmas time, it was totally red on top. And we had people that would come over here because they see it from the road. I don't even know these people. They'd ask us if they could take a picture of it because they'd never seen one that big. Those things will grow wild down here. So be very careful what you stick in the ground. I ended up taking it out. So anyway, let's go over here and see what's going on. Oh, my neighbor's over there. See, they're getting their lanai enclosed, just like mine with the sliding doors. Right, can you see? Right there. So, and here's my clumping bamboo. This is the sea breeze here. Now I trim off these limbs right here. I try to trim the lower ones off. And if you look, see here, here's a new shoot coming up. So the ground is warming up. So it'll start growing now, and it'll always grow in this circle right here. And so there's a new shoot, and there'll probably be some more on the outer edges, and it thickens up as time goes on. I get in here and I trim things like this. I trim them off. I got to do some trimming this year. So I like to see this part, the canes. And then one of these days I'll probably have to get in there and thin it out. Here's what I was telling you, the green stripe bamboo. And it's because of that green stripe right there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I'm trying to show it. The green stripe right here. And I got them in tubs. Tubs are starting to fall apart because of the heat. Here's another one. And yeah, if you guys are interested in getting the start of this rhizome, I can mail it to you. I don't want to mail out 100 of them, but you know, send me a contact somehow, some way, and it's starting to grow again down here on this one. See here? Let me get this out of the way. See that? I don't know if you can see it or not. There's my finger. Here it is. You see this? So it's starting to grow in here too. So starting to grow. Yeah, I've been working in here. I know it's a mess, but yeah, I'll get around to it. I'll get around to it. So anyway, oh, I don't know what you call these things. Here, these things, it's in a pot there, but my granddaughter 4 years ago gave us a plant for, I don't know, Christmas or something, and I stuck it in the ground. Here it is right here, coming up. See it right there, over there? See it coming over there? They come up every year. This one here's already up. I did not plant these. I planted them like 4 years ago, but I mean, these are not recent plants. Here they are coming up here. See them popping up? Here's what they look like when the leaves open up. They're that color. So yeah, a lot of things you have up north that you have to plant or dig them up and put the bulbs in the garage and all that stuff. Down here you don't. You got to be very careful. This cactus, I kept this because this was my dad's cactus. He had 2 or 3 of them. He loved them for some reason, and I brought one down after his funeral and I put it in there. It's crooked. I got to straighten it up somehow. But you can't tell. This is a bloom. All of these long things here, I'm taking off, are blooms that are done. Big flowers. Take that off. I'm worried about touching this thing. Big flowers on this. Huge flowers. There's another one that comes off. There's another come off. See this right here? This thing? That's what they look like. That's going to be a big flower. It'll come out like that, and the flower will be, it'll be huge, big white one. Here's another one coming out here. Looks like there, it comes off here. Looks like there's another one coming right there. Ouch. There's another one there, one over here. Yeah, this thing has flowers. I mean, they're huge, but they only last about. Somebody said, oh, they bloom at night for bats and whatever. Not this one. It just seems to bloom whenever. I have seen it bloom late in the evening. There'll be a bud on it all day long, and then around 7, 8 o'clock at night, before I go in the house, I've seen blooms open up on it. And then they're usually there like most of the next day, and by the next night, that's it. The bloom is starting to fade really bad and really fast. So that's a little bit of an update of some stuff going on. And let me go over here and sit down. I don't know if I mentioned the last video. I can't remember from one video to the next, and truthfully is I don't watch them. Once I post them, I very seldom go back to them. I do read all the comments, and I do appreciate all the good. And anybody can add to questions people have. Feel free to put them on there. I can't answer everything, and then again, it's always good to get 4 and 5 opinions about the same thing. I can only tell you what I know, but I don't know everything. And after that, I'm just going to say Sue went shopping. I got nothing to do today, which is maybe dangerous. I think I'm going to go out here and try to trim this hedge while the getting's good. Oh yeah, hedge trimming. Somebody asked about that. On an average on this hedge here, because it's a growing hedge, I'll trim it now. It doesn't really grow fast. I'll trim it now, and because it ain't got to the height I want it yet, so I don't trim much on top, but I do on the sides to keep it contained. On an average, I might trim it, and it's a quick trim. It's not like up north where you really gotta, you know, cut at it. Maybe 2 to 3 times a year. I probably don't have to do it that much, but I do. What the heck was that? Did you hear that? It's probably nothing. It almost sounded like a snake striking at something. You could hear it hiss. It's probably them guys who are working on that over there. Just me being jumpy. You know, like the guy Starman said, little bit jumpy. Okay. Oh, I'm drinking somebody's coffee. I don't know who it is. Thanks. And the guy I met yesterday down at Cody's, he bought me a beer, and then I bought him one, but I'll thank you anyway. He was from Long Island, New York, and he was down here checking things out. So he said it was because of my videos. Well, that just seems like a lot of responsibility on me, but I'm glad you found a place, and I'm glad that you're interested, and I'm glad that it looked like he was having a good time. I think he plays golf. He talked to one of my golf buddies down there that's also from Long Island. That's not unusual, by the way, to run into people from the same place you are down here. So, I don't know. Until then, I'll just simply say adios, and I'll see you on the other side.